Welcome, boys and girls, to lesson 3-17. And today we're going to be working with more graphs. And this time we're going to be working with graphs with, instead of whole numbers, decimal numbers. And my question for you today is, how is graphing with decimals different than graphing with whole numbers? So how is graphing with decimals different than graphing with whole numbers? So as we go through this process, what I really want you to do, I really want you to think about, okay, what am I doing differently? How is this different than with whole numbers? Because we know, or hopefully we have figured out, there is a big difference between when working with whole numbers and and decimals, and not in terms of what we do, but it's just one of the biggest issues that we have is paying attention to the numbers and the place values. And we really need to make sure that we know our place values to really understand what we're doing here. But today we're not going to review place values. We've done that few times. We'll probably do that next time. But today we're going to review perimeter and area. So what we're going to look for is we're going to look for the perimeter and area of these two figures. Okay, the first one, it looks like this. I should probably close that so it's actually a figure, not just three lines that go together. That's right there. We'll say that is 4. We'll say that is 5. We'll say that is 6. And we'll say that is 7. And we're looking for perimeter. And we're looking for area. And the second one looks like this. Sorry. And this is 9, and this is 6, and then this is 5. And again, we're looking for the perimeter, and we're looking for the area. So please pause the video if you haven't already. Draw the shapes so they are in your book, and then answer the questions as soon as you can. Well, not as soon as you can. We actually would like you to have accurate answers. That's probably the more important piece, is that you know what's going on. Pardon my shadow here as I reach for 2 different colored pens. All right, so I can't pause this because if I pause it, then I have to start over, and then that's a bad thing for me, and then I get frustrated and throw things across the room. Okay, so remember, perimeter, boys and girls, is the distance around the outside of a shape. So what we're going to do is we're just going to walk around the outside, and we're going to add up the numbers as we go. So we're going to start with 6 plus 7 is 13 plus 5 is 18, and it's 18 units. All right. Now, area, remember area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height, or base times height divided by 2. So my base, and I'm actually going to switch colors here just because it's excuse me, and maybe let's use a color that's not so related to the blue. Let's use something that's pretty stark contrast here. My base is 7, so I've got 1/2 times 7, and my height, remember height, you have to make an h, okay, and that's 4 times 4, so I'm going to times them together. Now I can do 7 times 4 and divide by 2, or if I want, I can just take, let's just do 7 times 4, which would be 1/2 of 28. 28 divided by 2 is going to be 14, and that one is units squared, or square units. All right, now let's look at our parallelogram over here. And again, the first unit of measure is perimeter. And remember, with perimeter, we're just taking a walk around. Now, if I want, I can do 9 plus 6 is 15, and I can times it by 2, because we should know that this is going to be 9 and this is going to be 6. So 15 times 2 is 30. If you don't trust my math, I go 9 plus 6 is 15 plus 9 is 24 plus 6 is 30, and that's 30 units. All right, and then when we go to determine area, remember area, the formula for area of a parallelogram is base times height. Or we can also look at it as length times width, and then think about moving this piece right here to right here, because then now we have a rectangle. But base is 9, so let's punch in numbers here, 9, and my height, remember the height, we make a chair, and the chair makes us sit up straight, times 5. 9 times 5 is 45, and that's 45, and that's units squared. All right, hopefully we did well on that. Again, it's one of those things that we're going to continue because looking at the results of our test, we weren't as successful as we needed to be. I should probably point out, just to be sure, when we look at the 1/2 base times height, okay, when we do 1/2 base times height over here, we can think of this because base times height will give us a rectangle. And all we have to do is these two pieces correspond, so we're going to get rid of half of it. And then these two pieces correspond, and we're going to get rid of half of it. And that's how we come up with the formula 1/2 base times height. All right, that's the end of video number 1. I think we're going to have 3 more videos, and hopefully Mr. Winkleman won't mess up, because if he messes up, he can't restart, so he's just going to have to go with as is, and hopefully he won't say anything inappropriate on the camera as he's frustrated with himself.